Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I am showing an old recipe that my mom has made ever since I was a kid. It's potato croquettes. Here is Mom. It's a picture I took not too long ago of her. She's sipping on her espresso coffee. So look at this. It is a very soft, I don't want to call it dough because it's not necessarily dough. It is a mixture of leftover mashed potatoes. So when you make too much, just basically add eggs, flour, and butter, and add a little yeast. That's it. Then you mix it together and look how soft it turns out. Then you form them to whatever shapes you want. And you can eat it just like this. You don't have to overcomplicate it. There are a lot of different recipes that are absolutely delicious, but sometimes you just want something quick and not waste your mashed potatoes. Comes out so light. It is insane how super light this is. See, look at this. So she is basically has formed the shapes, and now we are deep frying this. Mom likes to use chopsticks when she turns them over. And we do use olive oil. We do not use vegetable oil for this because it seems to make it a little too greasy for us. But the olive oil works really well. I highly recommend using it. Just use a good quality olive oil. And look, it turns golden brown. Since the mashed potatoes are already done, basically it takes a very short time for it to cook. It's golden brown. Absolutely delicious. And then you just take them out, and we're using a rack, that is something simple. Just, let it drip, but it doesn't absorb a lot of oil. This is why we use olive oil. So just put it out on whatever you want. Let it cool up just a tad bit because it is hot when they come out. I mean, obviously you're frying it. Of course it's hot. But it's so good. So here is Mom taking it all out, and she literally was between putting these items into the frying pan and then bringing them out. So here we use sour cream to dip. See, just like that. She tried to open it up. It's super soft and hot inside. And just dip it in sour cream. Now you can make your own dips, whatever you want. But here is what the dough looks like. Look at this softness. It is incredible. This is when all the ingredients are mixed together. And again, I have my recipe at the end of this video and some tips and tricks on what to fill it with. Remember, I do not use a knife on my cutting board, so I told Mom, no, use a spatula. It leaves no knife marks. And of course, I really didn't have to tell her this because she already knows this. She does the same thing. And you just portion them up into the sizes you want. It doesn't have to be anything particular. Since all the ingredients, like I said, are already made, like the mashed potatoes, it's finished. The mashed potatoes are already done. So you don't have to fry for too long. You can shape them to whatever shape you want. And if a little bit of the potato peel gets into the dough, Mom takes it out. So that's what you just saw her doing. And you roll it. You do not knead it. You don't have to knead. So when you're putting the ingredients together, Mom was so fast, so I didn't get a chance to show you how she put them together. It's like, Mom, what you doing? She's in the kitchen. And it's like, oh, I'm making potato croquettes. I'm like, what? Wait, let me get the camera. But of course, she already mixed everything together, so I couldn't show you this. So here I ask her to show us, especially you guys, when we're filling it with things, how to fill this. So add your favorite ingredient, whether it's salty or savory. And she's showing it, kind of like the amateur way. If you're going to go ahead and cut your dough and how to fill it, you can form different shapes. At the very end, you can roll it and shape it to whatever size you wish. And she'll show that to you. They actually, although she's starting out a little different, they're all going to look alike at the very end, which is kind of bizarre, but it's because of the dough is so soft, that potato dough. See, she's just folding over and pinching. That's one method. She's showing you different ways. And then this one, you could take, the corners. It really doesn't matter. I mean, whatever your little heart desires, just shape it the way you want it. You add a little extra flour so it doesn't stick. It really is not a sticky, potato dough. It's actually pretty soft. See, and she's just, again, putting it all together. We wanted you to see how moist everything is. And super, super easy to work with. This is one of those quick dishes that you could run to at the very end of the day or the next morning if you have any mashed potatoes left over. and use them in a totally different way and in a totally different taste. You can serve this as appetizers. If you have a really saucy dish, you can serve this as almost like bread and just dip it into your favorite food with a lot of sauce. And you can add anything into the dough, or you can fill it, up to you. We usually just fill it the way it is, and many times leave it just by itself. So yummy that way. And they're different. Like I said, she's filling them in with, this is strawberry jam. And she's filling them all in, but she's kind of folding them differently, but yet the size is all the same. So basically, whatever size dough you cut, that's going to be the size of your croquettes.
Good.
See, watch. You could put two pieces together, just like that on top of one another and kind of push down. And then you can go right ahead and fold it over. Kind of like the pinching method. Pull and pinch. So again, she's demonstrating the different ways you can put this together. Whatever you're comfortable with. There's really no secret way of doing this or overcomplicating it. Just plop in your jam and, make the corners get together. So, such an easy recipe. It's so much fun to make this with little kids because they really can't ruin this. The only thing that you could do is add too much filling and then it falls out. But then just add more dough to it. And then you roll it into shape. Now check this out. Did you see how the different sizes were and different ways she put them together? And look at that. They all come out almost the same. Check that out. Isn't that wild? So Mom, I don't even know how many thousands of times she has made this. And it's just, something we've always enjoyed. And we have, ate it so many different ways. Now, if you do have a filling inside, it's nice to refrigerate it for about 30 minutes just so the dough can really bind together so the fillings do not come out as you fry it. But in all honesty, we've done it both ways, but we like to refrigerate it if you do have a filling in it. It just makes it so much easier to work with when you fry it. If you don't have any filling inside and you just basically have the dough and deep fry that, that's okay too. See? So just plop it in your fridge. Then inside the fryer. We have them stand on their edges for about 10 to 15 seconds just so they have that golden brown look. But again, everything is cooked inside and the egg will cook super fast because it's all mixed together. And they taste so good. Now, if you want to have a more fried taste, leave it in there longer. If you don't want it too fried, then take it out when it's golden brown. Look at that. It's so yummy. Oh my goodness. And of course, you could just add on the new batches inside your pot for the next section of frying. And then plate it. And they're not greasy. Even though they're deep fried, they are not greasy. Look at that. There's barely any oil anywhere. And so we're plating them. And since this was the one that she had the strawberry jam in, we are adding some powdered sugar, as you're going to see this very shortly.
Six.
She's adding them all in. See? It's just easier to distinguish which one is the sweet and the salty. The powdered sugar is the trick. We just learned to identify them that way. Because honestly, they look the same. And you don't want to take something with jam inside it and then all of a sudden dip it into some meat sauce. I mean, you can. That's what it looks like without being filled in. And we goofed. We actually added the powdered sugar on one. Now here, she opened it up and said, wait, let me show the camera. Open it up again. So as you can see, the jam got all absorbed inside this potato croquette. But it's okay because you can serve it with the jam on the side or inside as you're cutting it in half. See, I'm just plating it differently. I like to identify which is the savory and which is not. So I'm just adding cheese and parsley on this one. Here's a photo as they came out, just as we fried them. And then this is the one that the jam got absorbed, so we added some on top. That's okay. No panic. And this is for the sweet one with some star fruit as just a plating decoration. So guys, the recipe is coming up right here. Remember, you're making this out of leftover mashed potatoes, which should have a stick of butter and some half and half added to it. And then you add 2 eggs and half to 1 cup flour, depending on how wet your mashed potatoes are. And of course, you have to remember not to forget the yeast. That's what makes it rise up. Then you gently fold the ingredients together. Please do not knead them. You don't need to. This is simple and easy recipe for us hardworking people. Then let this dough rise just like you would let a bread dough rise for about 45 minutes. Cover, put it in a dark place, etc., just like bread dough. Then either you can let it be the way it is as is, or fill with savory or sweet items. And I'm going to have some tips here at the end of the video on what you can actually fill this with. You can serve it as a side dish or as an appetizer, as I said. Just depends on your time and, your desire for the moment. That's all. We dip ours in sour cream just because we always have sour cream at home, and it's so yummy just to have that delicious fresh fried food with the sour cream. So here are some ideas what to fill your savory dish with. You can add cheese or jalapenos, any leftover meats or ham or cooked vegetables, and just remember, add those in there, whatever your little heart desires. For your sweet side, add jam, cooked fruits, or raw berries, dates, plums, anything like that, and you can top it with your sweet sauces that you can make, like your vanilla glaze or your favorite jam topping. You can refrigerate the ones that you had filled and deep fry. Refer back to my video, it'll give you a lot of good hints. You can also store these guys up to 3 days, but it all depends on what you filled the potato croquettes with. So if there's no filling, they could last up to 4 days. But honestly, they usually don't last because it is so good, and most of the people love to consume them when they're super fresh. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and if you have any questions, please comment, share this video too with your friends. God bless you all. Take care. Bye.